watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
Transervice has been a leader in the transportation and fleet maintenance industry for over 50 years. If you're a professional driver or technician looking for opportunities to be the best and work with the best, then we want you working at Transervice. Our current workforce includes over 1,000 drivers and technicians, managing over 24,000 pieces of equipment in over 120 regional and local facilities across North America and Puerto Rico, and we're getting larger all the time. Our corporate philosophy of trust, respect, and honesty has led to employees that have spent their entire career with Transervice. As with our employees, we have many customer relationships exceeding 20 years. You'll have the opportunity to learn and grow professionally in an environment that values and rewards excellence, with a variety of perks such as education support, recognition awards, career advancement opportunities, and more. A great work-life balance, a company built on values, recognition, and rewards for excellence. While our competitors offer jobs, Transervice offers you a career, not just a job. Contact us today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another great night of racing in the Transervice 5 with Sim500. This is the Sonoma Raceway. We've got 40 laps of great racing tonight, road racing. If you're not familiar with road racing, well, you're going to learn real quick what it's like. You're going to see a lot of left, right, left, right, left, right, straight, left, right, left, right. 10 times around this just barely 2 miles of track here in the beautiful foothills of the Sonoma, California area. So I'm Randy Pepper alongside. Huh? What'd you say?
I'll tell you what, Randy. You know what?
What?
It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. But you're going to be going up and down it's like a roller coaster here in Sonoma.
Yes, absolutely.
But hey, that's Randy Pepper. I'm Nick Adams.
Yes,
this is Ghostfire Media. And this is the Sim500 Transervice Truck Series. And folks, tonight, we are on our road. You ready, Randy? I'm going to say the word. You ready? Playoffs.
Playoffs.
One more race to go after tonight before we get to the playoffs. Next week, Daytona International Speedway is our final race before the chase begins. Now, folks, you're going to notice on the left-hand side of your screen that numbers are changing. Colors of numbers are changing. Green with a white car number tonight means they are locked into the playoffs. Yellow with a black car number means, well, hey, they're on that bubble. And if they're red, well, unfortunately, they are eliminated from playoff contention. We'll continue to update you as the playoffs get closer and closer. But next week, folks, get ready because Nick's going to be doing a lot of math.
Yes, Nick is going to be the mathematician through the rest of the season, pretty much. It's just what he does. So as we see with practice 4 minutes and 48 seconds left, Daniel Falkingham is on the pole right now, or at least fastest in practice. Justin Fuller is second. Hamish Gallagher is third. Now, I had wondered if Daniel Falkingham was going to be as fast at a road course as he is on an oval. Well, he's pretty much put that thought to rest, as he is the fastest right now. Fuller as well, another one I was warning about. Now, Hamish Gallagher, we know, being him an Aussie, they like to run those road courses. We're not surprised that the 22 truck is that fast. So tonight we'll actually see, maybe see some guys that we don't usually see running the ovals as fast. You might see some surprise guys running tonight on these road courses that normally don't run as fast as they do on the oval, and vice versa. We'll see a lot of guys that are great on the road ovals that are not good on the road courses. So that is the thing to watch tonight. Who's going to be the players tonight in this road racing race here?
This is my bread and butter, Randy Pepper. This is the
I know
stuff
you
that
love
I
this.
live for.
Yep, you love it.
I
Me, as
live
you know,
for
I
road
don't.
racing. Oh yeah, Randy Pepper hates road racing. You know what,
Yeah,
folks? I absolutely live for this stuff. This is some of the most exciting, intense stuff we get into all season when you come to one of these tracks. And man, oh man, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm stoked. Just a couple of last-minute adjustments here on our point standings. Or on our, not our point standings. I do not have point standings to show you. We will go over them here momentarily. But I do not have point standings to show you yet. I am waiting on somebody to make me a graphic, but they are getting that done for me. And it will be done for next week.
Oh, cool. Very cool. We do need that. That's for sure. It's good that we do have the graph now, or the way the green, the yellow, and the red, and then just the plain old numbers. We see pretty much on our scoreboard exactly who the movers and shakers are. Right there, Falkingham. We've got green, 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 green. The top four all lit up in green, so we know these guys are already there.
Yeah, so Daniel Falkingham, Justin Fuller, Hamish Gallagher, Pedro Mojica, Derek Myers, Bentley Glazier, Chad Coleman, Tyler Dalton, Joey Gattina, Richard Beasley, all locked into the playoffs.
Joey is a surpriser because Joey is kind of one of those guys. You don't see him a lot towards the front of the pack, but he's just consistently making the points that he needs to make.
Yep, he's currently sitting 12th in the playoff in the point standings. 18 drivers make the playoffs. He's 12th. He's got just over the margin to be locked into the playoffs, and he can't lose that margin over the next 2 weeks. It's just not possible. So he is officially locked in. Daniel
awesome.
Falkingham has been locked in since about week 10.
Oh, I thought it was week 2.
We knew that 10 weeks ago that Daniel Falkingham was locked in. The ones that we're going to keep an eye on tonight, folks, and these are the ones that can really make or break their year. Sorry, I'm just having Tommy Ryan, E.J. O'Rourke, those guys, Mike Kelly, Kevin DeBrown, those guys sitting right on the bubble. Mike Kelly's in 13th, but he's only got 38 points between him and Ron Holyfield. So a bad night. Mike Kelly hasn't had the greatest second half of the season.
No.
Mr. Consistency has not been Mr. Consistency the second half of the year. So
he has not. He has
he could have issues.
He could have issues, and I will say this: he has pretty much handed that trophy to Pedro Mojica, who's been just on fire.
He has. He's gone from being the most consistent guy to just the guy with the least luck.
Yeah. I'll agree 100%
You go
with that.
and you look at Kevin DeBrown. Kevin sits in 17th. He has a win so far this year, but he's only got 18 points on Ron Holyfield. You have a rough night, and Ron has a good night. You go into Daytona next week in a situation where, hell, you might have to win to get in.
And you don't want to have to try
Not
to
at
win
Daytona.
at Daytona. No.
If you're going to a Martinsville, you're going to a Chicagoland or a Michigan, and you go there and you say, okay, I have to win to get in. That's one of those tracks where you can be like, all right, I just need to drive my heart out. But at Daytona, Talladega, not Nashville, I almost said Nashville, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Those are crapshoot racetracks.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot put yourself in a situation, if you want to make the playoffs, of having to win to get in at one of those racetracks. And by the way, Randy, this is open qualifying tonight. This is the first time we've seen this all year. This is open qualifying. We're going to have 27 trucks on the track at once trying to get these laps in. I'm excited for this.
This will be fun. 5 minutes to do it. So
look at that number 22, that beautiful black and pink car. I said it 15 times this year, but that thing really reminds me of the X-Side Ford. I love it.
Yeah, it does, but we know it's a Taylor Swift thing.
He's got big machine. I almost said vodka on the back of it, but it's records. Speaking of big machine vodka, they're not that good.
Yeah, not like the El Bandito.
No, nothing
Yankee
like that
tequila.
El Bandito Yankee tequila. Nothing.
Let me just tell you something about the other night, Saturday night. My wife got hammered with some El Bandito Yankee tequila because you're funny.
I would too.
No, she drank it and she was like, this is the smoothest tequila I've ever had in my life. I wouldn't even think this is tequila. It is so good. And if you're looking at tequila and you want to make some margaritas and stuff like that, definitely El Bandito Yankee is the tequila you need.
The Transervice drone cam makes its return here tonight at the Sonoma Raceway. We contacted the drone company. We asked them to give us a new one, and they obliged. You'll have these beautiful drone footage throughout the entirety of the night through turns 1 through 10. All 10 turns covered by these two drone cameras here. It's a beautiful sight. You're taking a look at Derek Myers in the 23. Let's go on board, Derek Myers. Let's get a little lap around here at the Sonoma Raceway. You're coming up over that hill. This is where it gets a little bumpy there. You get on the throttle a little bit too quickly, you will step that back end out. Here you want to get on that curb. You want to hop that right front tire, but you don't want to hop it too much until you end up in that tire barrier. You want to brake as late as possible into what this is turn 4. This is turn 5, I'm sorry. Then you go into the S's, which is 6, 7, and 8. So here's 6. Here's 7. Here's 8. You really want to... Do they count the S's as 1 now?
I would assume they do because there seems like there's more than 10 turns.
So we just entered turn 9. I've always said Sonoma's an 11-turn racetrack. And then this will be turn 11. In my eyes, this is turn 11. Sorry, turn 10. And then turn 11 is the left-hander right here going on the front stretch. Let's go on board Derek Myers one more time as he gets his second lap going. We'll keep an eye. Jared Livingston, your only car out there so far that put down a lap. Derek Myers with a 119.3. Bentley Glazier a 119.2. So up through turns 1 into turn 2 on that right-hand side. Then you come up over the hill down into turn 3. And you're up the hill here. It's one of those tough ones. You get on that curb a little bit too much, you might spin the back end out. Turn 4 right there on the curb. Again, you got a better exit that time this time. And down into turn 5 here, over that curb on the right. You want to get that. That's a perfect line right there, Randy Pepper. He did exactly what he should have. Into turn 6 here. Yeah, there's definitely more than 10 turns. I don't know how they call this thing 10-turn racetrack.
No idea either, but
Is this is 7, 8, 9? Yeah, there's at least 11 turns here. It might even be 12. I think IndyCar calls this a 12-turn racetrack.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, 12 or even 13.
Yeah, Indy calls it a 12-turn racetrack. NASCAR calls it 10 turns. They always got to be different here in NASCAR. But down into the tunnel turn. the chicane, the tunnel turn, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people call this thing many different names. I call this the end of your lap. Because most of the time, if you get the entrance to that corner wrong, that's the end of your lap. You are not going to improve if you get that turn wrong. Derek Myers sending it there. Daniel Fockenham, look at him in the January 31st machine. He has provisional pole, a 117.8 over Justin Fuller's 117.9. Randy, he is a real driver.
I'm going to say he's a total package for sure. He's the Lex Luger of this racing league.
He is an all-around driver. This is a question me and Randy Pepper had for Daniel Fockenham coming into tonight was, what type of driver is Daniel Fockenham? Is he a total package, or is he like a speedway specialist? Well, I mean, other than completely missing the tunnel turn there. But Daniel Fockenham's going to take the pole. With a 117.8, Daniel Fockenham will put himself in the pole. Defending series champion Tommy Ryan will put himself in 5th. Hamish Gallagher 4th. Pedro Mojica 3rd. Justin Fuller in 2nd. E.J. O'Rourke will come home in 6th. And Daniel Fockenham just sent it to the moon!
Oh!
He sent it to the moon. They're all sending it to the moon.
They remind me of, unfortunately, the late J.D. McDuffie. Or even, no, actually more the Jimmy Johnson. Remember when Jimmy Johnson did that?
They call this turn 4. Wait, so this is, so they only call that one turn? That's 2 turns. God, I love NASCAR, but I hate the way they make their... So this is turn 1, which means this back here is turn 2, the left-hander, then 3 is the right, then 4 is this right, then 5 is... I don't even understand.
Nick, you're gonna hang on to this for a second. I unfortunately just sliced my toe open, so I'll be right back.
Jesus. Well, folks, qualifying is officially over. The last few drivers come across the start-finish line. Make a little pit practice here. Everybody waits when there's open qualifying for everybody to finish their final lap. Jose Gonzalez currently in 16th, and here he comes up. Where is he? He's on the front. He's in the beginning of the lap here. Jeff Ryan, one of the final drivers out there. He's yet to complete his final lap. This will be his 5th lap. He might be coming into the pits. And there it is. The session is ended. 7 minutes. Gives you 2 minutes extra. Folks, we're here at the Sonoma Raceway in beautiful wine country. If I can get the right pit line, there we go. Can I get the right? Oh, no, I don't like this. Hold on. I don't like any of these. None of these camera angles are. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. That's better. You see the field right here on the front stretch. All nice and wadded up, getting ready for the pace lap here at Sonoma Raceway. Daniel Fockingham's going to lead them off here tonight. Let's go ahead and give you the official grid. Daniel Fockenham is going to lead them off here to start the evening. In 2nd, going to be Justin Fuller. Back in 3rd, Pedro Mojica. In 4th, Hamish Gallagher. In 5th, going to be the first driver on the bubble, Tommy Ryan. E.J. O'Rourke follows him in 6th. Mike Kelly in 7th. Robert Gillenwater in 8th. Bentley Glazier in 9th. Derek Myers back in 10th. Back in 11th, going to be Kevin DeBrown. 12th, going to be Scott Simley. 13th, going to be Tyler Dalton. 14th, Ryan Howard. 15th, Chad Coleman. 16th, Jose Gonzalez. 17th, Gerald Livingston. 18th, Jeff Ryan. 19th, Brian Wertman. 20th, going to be Charles Woods. Back in 21st, Richard Swaverly. 22nd, going to be John Higman Jr. 23rd, Doug Sigmund. 24th, Ron Holyfield. 25th, Kevin Stone. 26th will be Richard Beasley in the beautiful Tide Ride. And back at 27th, Joey Katina. Folks,
not a good qualifying for him at all.
Not a lot. A lot of the guys in the back did not qualify.
Yeah, that's a long ways to go.
45 laps. I'm sorry, 40. I thought it was
45.
40.
40, yeah. 40 laps.
40 beautiful laps here at the Sonoma Raceway tonight. What are we waiting on? Is there a truck that's not gridded? Oh, there's 3 trucks that aren't gridded. Brian Wertman, Charles Woods, and Doug Sigmund. Okay.
Waiting for them to get their act together.
We are waiting for them to get into their trucks. But with that being said, let's touch on a couple of things here. All right, so our drivers to watch here tonight. Obviously, we're going to watch these top four as you look at them. The 51, the 39, the 58, and the 22. Those four drivers we expect to be battling for the win all night long. This man right here in the number 99 machine. We're going to be watching Tommy Ryan very closely here tonight. He sits on that bubble back there in 16th position here in the playoffs right now, being just over 24 points above the bubble. He needs to have a good night. Hope his competitors behind him do not. He wants to be the driver at the top of the field with those yellow numbers. We keep an eye on Tommy Ryan. EJ O'Rourke the same thing. We're going to keep an eye on EJ. EJ currently sits back in P14, just about 35 points above the cut line. EJ O'Rourke at the number 41 has been consistent all season. We'll keep an eye on him. Mike Kelly, we talked about him in the winter series. Mr. Consistency. He's had a very rough stretch of it recently. Sits 17th in points currently. I'm sorry. He sits currently 13th in points. Just over 45 points above the cut line. We'll keep an eye on him as the night goes along. And then back here, a couple wins in a row. Where is he? Where is he? Can't find him. I know he's here. Couple wins in a row here for the 58 of Pedro Mojica. He's my pick tonight. I think he's going to go for 3 in a row. Be the first driver of the year to win 3 in a row. He was the first driver to win 2 in a row. I think he's going to be the guy to win 3 in a row. Pedro peaking at the right time. And Randy, last but not least, the men we're going to focus on. We said we're going to focus on the top 4, but we're going to focus specifically on Daniel Falkenham here tonight. He has not won since the middle of the summer. Daniel needs to get his act back together. I know he thinks the same thing. He wants to make sure he's consistent going into the playoffs. And currently, he just doesn't have that in him right now. He's just not the same driver he was in the middle of the season. Everybody else has stepped it up around him. But Randy Pepper, we're coming to the green flag here at the Sonoma Raceway. Your cousin Tommy is going to throw the green flag out, and away we go in Sonoma, up the hill into turn 1.
Up the hill, turn number 1. It is a side-by-side battle right after the back.
Spinners behind him, spinners behind him. We got spinners behind him. Jeff Ryan's around, the 60's around, of John Higman. We're going to stay green here. Did Joey Gattina get involved? No, I do not think so. John Higman and Jeff Ryan have some damage. The number 3 of Jeff Ryan has some serious front-end damage on the front of his truck. We'll try to see what happened there for you. Jeff Ryan, it looks like the signal.
He nailed
He nailed
somebody else hit him. Somebody hit him hard.
Oh, he got
really
to the
hard.
26. The 26 got loose. He got on the brakes, and he got hammered. Absolutely hammered by another one of those trucks back there. Man alive.
And they must have bailed out right after it because
I believe it was Doug Sigmund in the 04 got into him. Brian Wertman also involved in that. That's going to end their nights early. But up at the front of the pack, Justin Fuller here as we come to the end of lap number 1. Justin Fuller is taking the lead from Daniel Falkenham up the hill in turn 1. He almost misses the bus stop, though. Here comes the 39 through the chicane.
And there he goes. He tries to get, but Fuller shuts the door and says, not going to happen this lap. This is going to be a great battle for these guys for quite a few laps. I can already see it, as Fuller shows that he is a road course specialist just as much as Daniel Falkenham. Falkenham looks low. Going to try to make it down on the outside as they go around the turn. Fuller has
Oh, they're going to touch! They're going to touch! They're going around! Oh, what a save!
Whoa.
What a save by the 51 of Justin Fuller off the nose of Daniel Falkenham. They went into turn 3 side by side. Fuller hit the turning curb in turn 3. That kicked the back end of the truck sideways. He tried to save it, almost had it. Then he got into the front end of Daniel Falkenham, and he was able to keep it straight as he went through the dirt, Randy. That was intense. Let's take a look at that one more time. So right here, you see Justin got in the curb, a little sideways. Him and Falkenham get together. He's 90 degrees to the right. Wheels fully locked to the left, and he gets that thing back straight when he hits the asphalt. That was fantastic driving.
That was awesome. Absolutely. And I thought Falkenham might have came up there and got him, but it really wasn't anything Daniel could have done. It was Fuller just got loose after hitting that curb.
Yeah, Daniel gave him the benefit of the doubt there. He definitely got off the throttle when they both went into the dirt, allowed him to get that thing back and said, hey, if I want to beat you, I want to beat you fair and square. I don't want to turn you into the fence here 3 laps in.
Right, and that's
These guys
exactly
have
what
nothing
they've
to
done.
lose here in the top three either. Justin Fuller, Daniel Falcon, and Pedro Majica, all three locked into the playoffs. They've got nothing to lose here with 2 races to go to the playoffs except for momentum. Pedro, he can afford to, get taken out here tonight, still have all the momentum from 2 wins in a row. Being the only guy to do that this year, that gives him a lot of momentum, gives him some bragging rights over the rest of the field. So going into the playoffs, you have a bad race here in Sonoma, it's a road course. You shake it off, you go to Daytona next week, you fight back.
Right, and the guy that's sitting behind them, E.J. O'Rourke, is the guy that's looking at them saying, you guys want to go ahead and race and wreck? That's fine with me. I could really benefit from somebody in front of me wrecking out right now.
Yeah, EJ's got around Hamish and Tommy Ryan here early on in the early goings. He's sitting in 4th, looking at the back bumper of Pedro Majica in the 58. And EJ O'Rourke really trying everything he has just to conserve a little bit, but also he's going to want to get as high up this field as he can. But the number one thing that you see right now, Randy Pepper, of all the drivers in yellow, EJ O'Rourke is the highest in the field. That's something he needs to do tonight to make sure he can lock himself in going into Daytona.
Yeah, and Tommy, I'm sure Tommy wanted that position, but unfortunately for him, O'Rourke has taken that position from him, as Tommy is the one on the bubble.
The V8 811 car sitting in 16th in the playoffs currently, 2 spots ahead of the cutoff line, but he is doing everything he can right now to do what he needs to do. He's ahead of Ron Holyfield. He's ahead of Ryan Howard. So he's ahead of Kevin DeBrown. So right now, Tommy Ryan is doing everything he can. As long as he stays ahead of Kevin DeBrown and Ron Holyfield here tonight, then he'll be in good shape. But Ryan Howard's in the pits. The 33 is in the pits, I believe. The 33. Ryan Howard has been involved in an incident. Hold on 1 minute here. Daniel Falkingham to the lead up near the front. He got it done in turn 5. We'll show that to you here in a moment. Doug Sigmund has also been involved in an incident. We'll show that to you here momentarily. We'll show you the pass for the lead back here coming into turn 5. Just hard on the brakes. He's going to outbrake the 51, get to the inside, stop the truck from wheel hopping, get in the throttle before the 51, and cut him off on the entrance of the corner. That's perfect
Really
driving by Daniel.
nice pass, really nice.
Look at the Doug Sigmund incident. Mike Kelly has also been involved in an incident. We'll show that to you here momentarily. Here's the 04 of Doug Sigmund. His incident's going to come up right here. I believe it's going to be into the tire barrier. Yes, it is.
Ooh.
Ron Holyfield's incident here. Ron just spun out all by himself. And Mike Kelly. Let's take a look at Mike Kelly. Mike Kelly was just involved in an incident. We'll take a look and see what happened here. He's battling Chad Coleman there in the 38. He's got the 19 of Tyler Dalton in front of him. They're going to go into the tunnel turn, and he's just going to get turned. That happens all too often at Sonoma. You get down into the tunnel turn, you really get off the throttle. The guy behind you runs through you. I mean, and that's put Mike Kelly back in 17th. That's rough for him. I mean, look at him back here now battling with Jose and Gerald Livingston. That's you see a big dive to the inside of the 26. He knows he's faster. He needs to gain as many positions as he can.
If he wants to do anything, he's definitely got to do something. And I mean, we're only 5 laps into this 40-lap event, so he's got a lot of time. And maybe he can make up some of that ground on pit road. Who knows?
The thing about road courses, Randy, me and you both know it, is they get away from you very quickly. The lack of cautions that happen here, the lack of incidents that really do happen for you, they get away from you very quickly. We're 5 laps in, but he's 21 seconds behind the leaders now. He's also he's behind 5 other drivers on the bubble.
He's got a long ways to go, for
He's
sure.
behind, and all 5 of those drivers that are on the bubble that are in front of him currently are behind him in the points.
And
So
the worst thing about being him right now is he's fallen back. He's had an incident, and his concentration has been broken for the time being, and now he's having to look at other trucks in front of him and trying not to race them. He's got to race the track, not the guys in front of him, because the worst thing you can do is try to run their line, because that line may not be your line. So he's got to stay consistent if he's going to catch those other guys in front of him.
That is something that drivers tend to forget when they start getting upset a little bit inside the cockpit is you're not at road courses, and Jose Gonzalez is around behind him. He's going to keep it straight. He's going to lose a couple positions. It's going to be Richard Beasley and Joey Gattina going to go by him. You see the Tide Ride, the number 10. He's locked into the playoffs, Randy. I'm happy about that. I love that paint scheme. Makes me happy every week to see that thing out on the racetrack.
Ricky Rudd.
But to bring it back to Mike Kelly, I mean, he's one of those guys who will remember, hey, I'm driving the track, not the driver ahead of me. And right now, he's got a massive advantage over the two drivers ahead of him in lap times. He's about a second a lap faster than Richard Swaverly and Kevin DeBrown, and he has really pulled into that number 32, that blue and gold, that blue and chrome Chevy Silverado. Well, he's got another set of blue Ford ovals looking behind him, and that number 2 of Mike Kelly. And Mike Kelly's coming for Richard Swaverly.
Oh yeah, he's definitely closing in on the back bumper of that number 32. He's got him in his sights. Might not be this lap, but it might be next lap for sure, as he definitely approaches it.
You see EJ O'Rourke continues to stalk the 56, but EJ's being stalked by the Aussie, the man from down under, the winner at Texas, Hamish Gallagher, stalking the 41.
Come from the land of down under.
It's a good song.
Great song.
That's such a good song.
Colin Hay is a wonderful songwriter and musician.
Down under,
Stick to
anyway, Hamish Gallagher. He really is. He is really zooming in on that EJ O'Rourke machine. That 41 is going to have a tough time holding off that 22 when he gets there. The 22 is a little bit faster than the 41, but they're both faster than the 58. So Pedro Mojica currently struggling in third. I can't believe I just said struggling in third, but he is struggling in third to keep these drivers behind him as these tires get warmer and you start driving a little bit harder. You start overdriving some of these corners. And Sonoma is one of those racetracks that is not as forgiving as other road courses we go to on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. Charlotte, you make a mistake at Charlotte on the Roval, it's a little forgiving racetrack. There's a lot of runoff area. You make a mistake at Watkins Glen, there's a lot of runoff area down those backstretch and through the tunnels, and you know, it's a seven-turn racetrack. You make a mistake there, you can make it up in those 7 corners if you're better than everybody else. Here at Sonoma, though, it's a very tight racetrack. You make a mistake here into the tunnel turn, you're going to go head on into that tire barrier. You make a mistake on the exit of that corner, get a little bit loose, get sideways, get spun, you're going to go head on into one of these walls here. You going up the hill, you're going to jump over the barrier. I mean, there is a lot of things that can happen here as we have Chad Coleman diving to the inside of the 19 back here. And Chad's going to make a nice pass in the 19. He outbroke Tyler Dalton.
Yeah, that's a clean pass, and Tyler Dalton knew he was faster, so he got out of the way. He knows he's got to just run his race.
That is textbook. It was textbook by Chad Coleman there. Again, 2 drivers who have nothing to lose, but are driving like they have everything to lose to make sure that they continue to have that momentum going into the playoffs. Chad and Tyler have quietly built themselves some momentum here. Consistent finishes is what gets you into the playoffs. You don't have to win races to get into the playoffs all the time. Just consistent finishes. And Tyler Dalton has a new sponsor on that truck this week. Let's take a look at that. In memory of Todd Kirkwood. We'll have to ask Tyler if he gets up here in the booth tonight, who he was to him. But
good-looking truck either way.
It's a very beautiful truck, and obviously having Todd Kirkwood on that machine for Tyler Dalton means something to him, and I bet you it means something to the Kirkwood family as well.
Yeah, it almost the way the paint scheme actually is, it almost looks like Kenwood. I don't know if you remember what Kenwood was. Kenwood
that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too. Kenwood, like stereo equipment.
Yeah, I thought it was like Kenwood stereos at first. I zoomed in and I was like, oh, it's Kirkwood, Todd Kirkwood. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Kirkwood family. We apologize for your loss. But Tyler driving that machine with his heart on his sleeve here tonight, the number 19, up to 12. Take a look at the Robert Gillenwater machine. He might not be in the playoffs, but Robert Gillenwater is not going quietly.
No.
He's put the pressure on Scott Simley in that beautiful chromed out number 4 Chevy Silverado. That thing is pretty.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The battle for fourth heating up here, though. E.J. O'Rourke getting very much so pressured by Hamish Gallagher now. Daniel Falkenham pulling a Joseph Kazi. He's out 5 seconds ahead of the field currently.
He's just checked out.
It's when you get into that rhythm at road courses. It's just very hard to get away or get the driver to come back to you once they get into that rhythm.
Yeah, we remember many nights we called many races with Joseph Causey, watching him just run away from the field on a road course. So this kind of reminiscent for sure, having seen Daniel Falkingham just going on autopilot right now.
We're going to keep an eye on the battle here for fourth. We're going to go a little bit further back.
He's getting a little loose.
There's another battle that's interesting to me. Richard Beasley and Joey Gattina. I'm sorry, not Richard Beasley, Joey Gattina. Joey and Jose. This one is interesting. The 26, the 14, and the 10. These 3 trucks all up in a line, 17th, 18th, 19th. None of these drivers have anything to lose. 2 of them locked into the playoffs. 1 of them isn't. In that battle for the top 20, or for 17th, 18th, 19th, gaining as much momentum as they can going into the playoffs in a couple of weeks. Got to get that momentum going into Daytona as well, Randy. I know we've talked about momentum a lot, but it's something you need to start getting into. You need to get into that rhythm as we go into these playoffs.
Got to get your mindset in that rhythm for sure, because if you're not, your mind can play games with you. And you don't want to be having mind games going on when you're getting ready to go into the playoffs for sure.
Now, the most important part of the season is starting in 2 weeks. This is when it all matters more. It's when the real drivers come to play, and the ones that crack under pressure really will start to show. And it's going to be the question in 2 weeks when we start at the beautiful 2 seconds here. At the beautiful Pocono Raceway. 60 laps, August the 31st, the chase begins. On August the 31st at Pocono, we are going to see the real men separate themselves from the boys here in the Sim500 Transervice Truck Series. You see Jose Gonzalez down a beautiful pass on Joey Gattina.
Nice.
He arcs it perfectly. Oh, I might be a little wrong. He didn't arc it perfectly. He got off the brakes a little too soon, but he was able to hold that position.
I thought Joey was going to come back and get it back.
I did. I thought it was going to be one of those Tony Stewart situations where you let the driver go under you, he passes you, and you get right back under him.
Yeah, I was pretty sure this was going to happen.
Tony was historic for that, especially at Sonoma into the tunnel turn. Let somebody get that run. Let them outbrake themselves. Go right under them and pass them again going on the front stretch.
But Joey is starting to fall back. It looks like he may be losing some of his momentum. Maybe he's just relaxing a little bit because he knows he's already locked in. Doesn't do anything for him. So just going to relax, run his race, get as many points as he can. And
oh, there goes Bentley Glazier! He locked it on! Right as we looked at him. I saw he was making a move on the driver there, and I said, oh, look at Bentley make the move. Bentley Glazier overdrove it into the corner. He's going to lose 7 spots from that.
He was rolling street cubing and into the wall is what he was doing.
Take a look at that one more time. What happened here? We'll start all the way back here. He's setting up Derek Myers for a couple of laps. I've been watching this. And he comes into the tunnel turn on the brakes as hard as he can. You see the wheels start to hop. That's the wheel hop. These tires are 11, 12 laps old. The wheel hopping begins. The back end just steps out on him, and he can't get it back, and he's just going to overdrive it right into the wall. You see how many spots he lost from it.
Oh, yeah, that cost him quite a few spots for sure.
No damage, though. These trucks are made out of steel, I tell you.
Unless you took a hit like that 3 did earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
Yeah, watch him try to regain his momentum. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit before he can regain his concentration enough to start running back up with these guys. So.
Will be, and then he's got a long ways to go. He's got 10 spots to make up to get back to Derek Myers. He went from 7th to 15th. He's got to make up 8 spots to get back up to Derek Myers and try to make that pass on the 23 again. That can take the rest of the race.
Scott Simley's getting a little loose in the turns as well when that number 12.
Water all over him as we come down the first stretch.
And that's the reason he's getting loose, is he's trying to overdrive it because he knows Gillenwater is right there looking to strike and take that position away from him. So he's going to have to relax a little bit and just keep his momentum and his rhythm going. As they work through the S turns, Simley out in front of the Gillenwater, the Ford truck, that truck that we talk so much about, saying how good it looks, that blue. It's almost got a little voodoo blue color to it. Even though that is a Chevrolet, voodoo blue is actually a Toyota color, factory color. I'm surprised we don't see too many of the Toyota colors, the voodoo blue on any of these Toyota trucks, because it is such a popular color on the road. During, you see a lot of these RAV4s and these 4Runners and many other Toyota products in that voodoo blue. And it looks like Gillenwater is going to get past. Who's that? Coleman? Yeah, Coleman. Yeah, Chad Coleman making the pass around him. Just when we were thinking that Gillenwater was getting in his swing of things and was going to maybe get around Simley, that's all changed now. Now Simley's going to have another challenger with Coleman right behind him.
So, Randy, this Sunday at Watkins Glen, Kimi Räikkönen makes his NASCAR debut with Trackhouse Racing.
Wow.
Multiple-time winner, driver for Ferrari, driver for Lotus, Formula One, world champion. Considered to be one of the best drivers in the history of Formula One. Up there in the top 10, I would say. Maybe not championship-wise or win-wise, but consistency, longevity. Kimi Räikkönen makes his debut this Sunday. Eric Almirola, Randy Pepper, also now beginning to say he wants to come back in 2023.
Yeah, going to run the full season.
And no longer thinking about retirement. What does that do to the 10? What does that do to Kyle Busch is the question.
Kyle Busch still has not.
Because the rumor had it was Eric Almirola was going to retire and Kyle Busch was going to the 10.
Yeah, not going to happen.
With Eric saying he wants to come back and the relationship and the sponsor dollars that Eric brings in too.
Yeah, Smithfield's they're going to stay right there with him.
Yeah, the sponsor money that Eric Almirola brings into SHR, if he decides he wants to return in 2023, he'll stay in the 10.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys who's just, he might not be the most, the greatest driver in the history of NASCAR, but he's one of those guys that has consistent sponsor dollars. And realistically, in today's motorsports, sponsor dollars is almost as important as talent.
No, actually, it's more important. Money is what drives NASCAR. If you got a ride that doesn't have a sponsor on it, and you got a kid that's got a sponsorship with him, the kid's going to get that ride. So
that's the problem for Kyle Busch right now. Kyle Busch doesn't have any personal sponsors other than Monster, and Monster's not going to guarantee. It's not going to sponsor a third car.
He does have a sponsor.
Yeah, he has Monster.
No, he has Rowdy.
Well, that's
Rowdy
that's his own energy drink, though.
Exactly, he does that, but he could, if he wanted to, he could sponsor a car. The only problem is I don't think Rowdy Energy has enough money.
Scott Simley, Big Loose.
Ooh.
He's going to get it back straightened up, and he's going to stay where he is currently.
Got back in the groove.
Yeah, he's going to get his mindset back right there. He got a little bit loose on the throttle there. Those tires starting to heat up in the rear. Keep an eye on that. Oh, up through the hill. He got into the back bumper, the 23. Derek Myers gets a little loose there. We're going to stay single file. The 23, the 38 hits that inside rumble strip pretty hard, pushes him out to the right, gives Scott Simley a little bit of a second or two to calm down a little bit.
After he gave him the tip.
But yeah, Kyle Busch is in trouble. He's in trouble. The one ride that looked like had sponsorship that would stay with SHR if Eric Almirola did retire is now going to possibly go away.
Yeah, but there is another piece to this whole puzzle right now, that there is a possibility that Kurt Busch may not be able to make a return. There's that slight chance, and if he does not, then Ty Gibbs will probably end up in that 45 next year. That will allow the 18 to remain with Kyle Busch.
Oh, Derek Myers, big loose into the tunnel.
Wow.
He's going to lose a bunch of spots there. The 12 is loose. These guys need tires, Randy.
Yeah, they do. 23 laps in.
Oh, my God. 17 in, 23 to go here at the Sonoma Raceway. And these tires, after 17 laps, they are shot.
Yep.
And, hey, Randy, the sun has gone away.
Yes, it has.
The track's going to get cooler. It's going to get slicker.
It's set behind a cloud right now.
The problem with Kyle Busch, though, is sponsorship. He still cannot find sponsorship. And as much as I do like Kyle Busch, and I've started to like him more and more over the last 3 years, he only has one person to blame for his lack of sponsorship.
Yeah.
And it's himself.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
And
It's
I know
all him.
I know it's a controversial statement, but let me explain. Kyle Busch, 2 years ago, almost to the day, when pedigree was on his car, crashed out of a race that he should have won, and said, every time I have pedigree on this car, in an interview, every time I have pedigree on this car, we have terrible luck. Maybe we should just stop running this car. A week later, it was announced that Mars would no longer put pedigree on the 18. He did it again with DeWalt. A week later, it was announced DeWalt would never put DeWalt back on the 18 again, unless it was a requirement to get the car on the track because they needed a sponsor. And that's only because DeWalt doesn't sponsor Kyle, they sponsor JGR.
Right.
Kyle Busch has a disease, and it's called open mouth insert foot disease.
I think they call it Donald Trump disease.
Yeah, well, whatever they call it, Kyle Busch helped invent it. Kyle's been doing that since 2005. He had the ride of a lifetime when he was at HMS. He probably would have had 4 or 5 championships by now if he stayed there. Could you imagine the mid-2000s with Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., and Kyle Busch in the same team? That would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
The early 2010s when those new cars came out and Kyle started dominating, that would have been unbelievable. When he hit his prime and he was winning championships with JGR, he would have been unstoppable in an HMS machine.
Yeah.
But he opened his mouth, inserted his foot, got himself kicked out of HMS a year earlier than his contract was supposed to be up. Only got hired at Joe Gibbs Racing because of his talent. Joe Gibbs didn't see anything else behind the kid except for his talent. He knew he had something that he had to work on. But Joe Gibbs didn't really have an opportunity, didn't have a choice, right? He had J.J. Yaley, a young Denny Hamlin, and who was the other guy that was on the team at that time? It was Tony Stewart. J.J. Yaley, Tony Stewart, and a young Denny Hamlin. Well, J.J. Yaley was a bust and a failure, so he had to get rid of him. He had to put somebody in the 18, and he had Interstate Batteries that was signed on to sponsor the car for another 5 years. He had no other option but to put the most talented guy he could behind the wheel. That's Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch. Yeah.
Kyle Busch went there. He's won 2 championships. He's done great. But he's done it again. It took 14 years this time, but he's done it again. Opened mouth, inserted foot too many times. He pissed off Interstate Batteries. They left. He pissed off Mars. They made an excuse to get out of the sport after 40 years. This isn't a Jimmy Johnson situation where Lowe's just didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Lowe's
This is a situation.
Lowe's didn't leave Jimmy Johnson because Jimmy Johnson's a jackass. That's not what happened. They left Jimmy Johnson because they didn't see the upside in sponsoring a 45-year-old who could no longer win championships. That's a good business decision. You think Mars wants to leave Kyle Busch? They know the guy can win more championships. They know the guy can win more races. They know he's going to continue to win races and championships if he gets a ride.
Right, but it's just a matter of time before he says, we choked like we were on one of those M&M peanuts. Or something stupid like that.
Because he said dumb stuff like that before when he had pedigree on the car. Or when he said it when Interstate Batteries was on the car. He's opened his mouth and inserted his foot so many times that I would almost say Kyle Busch is in the same situation his brother was in 10 years ago. He's unsponsorable. Because you can't trust him.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's going to say. Pit stops are beginning here. We'll focus on the top 10 when they start to pit. Right now, nobody from the top 10 is pitted. We'll keep an eye on it as it goes along. We'll keep an eye on Look at Daniel Falkenham here.
He's by himself.
Yeah, his lap times have not
Thomas
fallen
Gallagher's
down.
on pit road. So
Thomas
is
Gallagher, Pedro
Mojica.
Mojica, Tommy Ryan. They're all coming down pit road. Here we go. No, Tommy Ryan did not come down pit road. He thought about it, didn't change his mind.
Decided to take the cone out.
Thomas Gallagher's in pit lane. There'll be 4 tires, fuel. It'll get you to the end of this race. A one-stop race tonight. Richard Beasley, the Tide ride on pit road as well. But yeah, I mean, Kyle is in a position that he's put himself in, unfortunately. And even if Kurt Busch can't return next year, I don't think Ty Gibbs goes to the 45. I think Ty comes to the 18. Because I don't think they're going to be able to find sponsorship for the 18. They've been trying for 8 months.
That's true. They have been trying.
They had tried so hard and they failed to find sponsorship that they had to put DeWalt on the car as a Joe Gibbs Racing sponsorship. They had to have two DeWalt cars a couple weeks ago in the 20 and the 18. DeWalt's not paying for 2 cars. They're paying for 1. They don't care who they're on, but they're paying for 1. So one of those cars went out there and raced for almost free. They probably paid a little bit to have that sponsor on there, but Joe Gibbs Racing was in a situation where they needed sponsorship. You're not going to have the 18 go out there all white. It's not going to happen. Joe Gibbs is never going to let that happen. He'll put his own logo on there if he has to.
Yeah, he'll put something on there. It's not going to be a white car.
He went and got it was literally the same wrap as the 20. Looked the exact same. Think about this. Martin Truex Jr., who, in all fairness, is not the same Martin Truex Jr. he was 5 years ago.
No.
He's not the same guy he was when he came to JGR.
And he knows that.
I would be very surprised if he is there next year.
I'm pretty sure he's going to retire after
I'd be very surprised if he's there next year. And in all honesty, JGR will probably be a 3-car team. I don't think they're going to have 4 cars. I don't think he has 4 drivers that he knows he can get sponsorship for every week. He's struggling. The only sponsor that he has for the 19 is Bass Pro Shops. And the other one that comes along with it was the Tracker, right? That's the only sponsorship. They had DeWalt on the 19 at one point this year as well.
Yeah, they did.
So they have thrown DeWalt around the entire organization. The only car that continues to get new sponsorship is the 11 and the 20 of Eric Jones. But that's because sponsors see Eric Jones and go, hey, this guy's like, 24 years old, 25 years old. He's already won a bunch of races. He shows he can be a contender for a championship. Throw some money at him, see what he happens. Hey, maybe he'll win with our logo on his car this week.
Yeah, kind of like a Daniel Falkingham.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They do the same thing with Chase Elliott. They throw money at Rick Hendrick. Hey, put our sponsor on Chase's car, please. Put our sponsor on Kyle's car. Put our sponsor on Alec. Any one of your drivers can win any week because they're talented. Here's money. We'll see what happens. We'll throw it at the fan. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, he's going to get a top 10 anyway. At least we get TV time. Because it's not like it was in the mid-2000s. It's just sponsorship is not as readily and easily available. And especially with the country going through what seems like the beginning of another recession, the issues are that sponsorship is going to get harder and harder to find. So the ones you get, you can't lose.
No.
You have to keep them. So, long story short, I don't think Kyle Busch will be back next year. And it's going to be a shame because I don't think he's ready to be gone. I don't think the NASCAR world is ready for him to not be here anymore. We, as fans, the ones that hate him, won't realize how much they need him until he's gone. That's just the cold, hard truth. They did the same thing about Jeff Gordon, the ones that didn't like Jeff. And the ones that hated Dale Earnhardt right up until the day he died realized when he was no longer here how much they needed him.
Oh, yeah.
So when Kyle Busch does have to step away from NASCAR because Maybe there's a lack of a ride. Or maybe he can't figure out how to get sponsorship, or whatever the reason may be. They're going to realize how much they need him when he's no longer here on Sundays to bring in the ratings. NBC's going to miss him. USA's going to miss him. Fox is going to miss him. NASCAR as a whole.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you're paying attention to this, but Daniel Falkingham now is 48 to 47 seconds.
It's because of the pit stops. He's probably going to be about 20 seconds ahead when he finishes his pit stop.
Still pretty amazing. The times that Falkingham is putting on the board right now over Fuller and Gallagher.
Yeah, we're trying to find you the most interesting battles, but currently are not that many battles.
Unfortunately, this is why I don't care for road courses. They just don't seem to produce the battles.
This is why I'm a proponent of stages. This is why I love stage racing.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
When iRacing finally gives league owners the ability to do stages, it's been 5 years.
Yeah, it's about time.
When they finally give league owners the ability to do stages and throw automatic cautions at this point and don't count and allow the league owner to get like a screenshot or do something on the results page. This was stage 1 results. This was stage 2. This was stage 3. Do something like that to give league owners the ability to have stages and make it easier for them. It'll be great for road course racing. It'll be great for all types of racing. Could you imagine stages here tonight? Stage 1 is 15 laps. Stage 2 is 15 laps. Then you give stage 3 a 10-lap shootout. It'd be great. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been a part of leagues that do stages, but they are manual stages, and they get confusing for league owners because you have to, in the middle of what you're doing, find a way to get a screenshot of the top 10.
Take picture, screenshot.
Yeah, right? It's a pain. And then you're trying not to crash yourself. Another driver who has seemingly fallen upon sponsorship issues for unknown reasons is Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, but I think he'll come out with something. Something will happen for him.
Ryan's I can't figure that out.
Good driver and he's a marketable guy.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. He has Menards, and he has
Penske
body armor. But other than that, it just seems like he hasn't had the sponsorship that he's had the last 3 or 4 years. They just announced a long-term contract extension with him today. But it's shocking to me that he's not able to get sponsorship when you got guys like Tyler Reddick and Eric Almirola and I mean, I love Alex Bowman, but Alex Bowman getting sponsorship over Ryan Blaney.
It's a Hendrick organization, that's why.
Well, I mean, but Alex Bowman has also had a very lucky career. I love Alex Bowman. I love the dude. He's had a very lucky career because of the fact he was handpicked by the greatest.
Yeah, of all time.
Not the greatest of all time.
Well, not of all time, but the greatest,
driver.
most popular, greatest driver at the time period.
Yes. So he definitely has gotten in a jump in popularity and money because of that. I mean, he came in and he got the biggest sponsor in NASCAR at that time. He had Nationwide. That's the biggest sponsor in the entire. He went from Nationwide to Ally, 2 of the biggest sponsors in NASCAR. He took over for 2 of the greatest drivers ever. 1, the most popular, and 2, the greatest driver of all time in Jimmy Johnson.
Well,
he went from Nationwide in the 88 to Ally in the 48. The dude has, and it's not like he's not Casey Mears. Like Casey Mears, the opportunities fell into his lap, right, with the 25 and the 5 in 06 to 2012 or whatever.
Yeah.
those opportunities fell in his lap. Alex Bowman earned his opportunities, and then he's actually gone out and won. Like Casey, all he has is the Coke 600, and that was a very boring, very strategic Coke 600 that like nobody watched because it was the most boring Coke 600 ever in 2006, I think, when he had the Army National Guard car.
Yeah, well, it looks like we might have a battle back there with Kelly, Coleman, and Glazier.
I see this. This is gonna be interesting. Keep an eye on this as it starts to create itself. But like Alex Bowman has earned his rights, right? You know what I mean? But Ryan Blaney seems like a guy who's very marketable.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. He is a marketable guy. I mean, he's an easy guy to talk to. He's easy on the eyes for the ladies. I mean, what else do you want?
He is what you'd call the full package.
Oh, absolutely. I would say he's a great driver, great individual, everything about him. I mean, I've got no beefs at all with him. He's
got a heck
guy.
of a sense of humor.
Yeah, he does.
His sense of humor is on point with some of the funnier people in NASCAR.
He, a lot of people don't know what he likes to do. He will dress down and disguise himself and go out into the audience, out into the people, and walk around among the people. It's funny when he does it. He looks just like anybody else, and he's just walking along, and nobody knows who he is. So if you're ever at a racetrack, you look for him. Huh?
You know who used to do that a lot? Jeff Gordon.
Waltrip. Jeff Gordon did that. Yeah, but not to the extent of where Ryan does it. Darrell Waltrip actually used to do it too. But
Jimmy used to do it when he was younger. You see Bentley Glazier make a move on Kevin DeBrown. That's a big spot for Kevin DeBrown to lose.
Look at that.
Oh, Kevin DeBrown battling back to the inside. Here into the tunnel turn. Hard on the brakes. Wheel hopping sideways into the tunnel turn. He's going to be side by side with Bentley Glazier down the front stretch. Glazier's going to lose 2 spots from that. Holy schmoly, Randy Pepper. Kevin DeBrown put everything into that, and Bentley Glazier's out of control.
He better watch out because I believe that Ford Gillenwater is going to be on his back bumper any second now.
Yeah, Glazier was out of control down the front stretch loose. The back tires were lighting up every time he touched the throttle.
Red rotors were bright red.
Kevin DeBrown doing everything he can to stay inside the top 10 right now. He knows how important those points are tonight.
Looking at the points too, we're talking about E.J. O'Rourke being in front of Ryan. Ryan now has taken that 5th position back over. So we got Ryan, O'Rourke, and Kelly there in 5th, 6th, and 7th, all working to get the most amount of points that they can get tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of something that we expected to see with Tommy, with his consistency in practice. Be able to get himself up there and maybe battle for as many points as he possibly can. I'm a little disappointed that he wasn't able to get up and stay closer to the leaders because I think he had something for him. Just early on wasn't able to get there. Look at Bentley Glazier out of the last turn. Once again, lights up those back tires. And then down the front stretch, look at him.
Wow.
Every time he touches
he is
the
out
throttle.
Of control. He's out of
every
control.
time he touches the throttle, that thing just goes slideways.
Now, you know, he did have that little bit of contact earlier, and maybe that's playing, something with the truck now.
The toe could be out of line just a little bit. Could be a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But he's about to be lapped. The 12th place driver is about to be lapped by the leader, Daniel Falkenham.
That in itself is amazing. That Falkingham has lapped everybody from 12th on back. That is amazing. That just tells you what kind of a machine that Daniel Falkingham is. Is Daniel Falkingham 21 yet?
I do not know.
I know he's close. So we'll talk to him about that tonight. because I got a feeling we're going to be talking to Daniel Faulkingham unless something crazy happens here. 9 laps remain in the Transervice Truck Series Sim500's race here at Sonoma Raceway on the Ghostfire Media Network. Randy Pepper alongside Nick Adams on this Wednesday night. We got some crazy racing going on here with a man on a mission, Daniel Faulkingham over Justin Fuller, Hamish Gallagher, Pedro Mojica, and Tommy Rahn are your top 5. Up through the S as they go. And we're watching that number 18 truck, a Bentley Glazer. He's been a little squirrely, and we're seeing how that truck is doing. It's still squirrely.
Probably Dylan Waters about to be lapped by the leader, Daniel Faulkingham. Take a look at this battle up here. It's beginning to form between Fuller and Gallagher for second. As
Hamish.
I say that, Hamish goes way wide as he gets a little bit of wheel hopping. Little wheel hoppage. Going into that corner, the back end starting to step out on him a little bit, pushed him way out. Unfortunate situation there.
Yeah. If he can get it lined back up, maybe he can reel him back in and go for that second place tonight. Taylor Swift get a little mojo going on him. He's right there. It just seems that Fuller's just running a little better line than the Gallagher truck, but Gallagher may be searching for a line that will help him catch up to Fuller. Might be searching a little bit. I saw a lot of that on Sunday. A lot of guys were searching towards the end of the race. We saw Chris Buscher tried to, well, he actually had one of his best finishes ever in the Cup race. And he was searching left and right, trying to get up there to win that race. Did a hell of a job. But Bell was on fire, so he couldn't hold him off. Still watching this battle here, seeing Hamish Gallagher can catch up to Fuller. Justin Fuller has run second the whole night. Well, actually, he led early on. Oh, it gets a little wide that time, and that allows Hamish to get right up behind him. Right behind him, but you can see his line. Hamish's line is a lot. It's a lot different than Justin Fuller's. Fuller's is very tight and concise around these turns, and Hamish runs a little wider line around every one of these turns. Now this time he doesn't. He runs a little lower, tucks in right behind that 51. They'll run through the S turns. To the right, now to the left. They'll come off. And break it down a little bit. Ooh. Very close to that wall. Hamish is trying, and you can see Fuller's truck is getting a little out of shape as they go through the S turns. But Fuller seems to have a little bit more horsepower as they go down the straights. And that allows him to just pull out by about a 2.5 truck length over Hamish. And Hamish this time runs really hard into that little hair clip there. And they'll come across the line. 5 laps remaining here at Sonoma. Daniel Faulkingham is out in another zip code right now. 27.75 seconds ahead of this battle that we're watching here with Fuller and Hamish Gallagher. And they've got quite a bit of room between them and Pedro Mojica, where you can just kind of see him back there. We got a lapper in between the two of them. If you see in the you see that little red truck, that's exactly where he's at. Now we're looking at the camera inside Hamish Gallagher.
Look at how sideways the 51 is.
I know he's driving that truck like he's running for his life, because I think he knows that Hamish Gallagher is either faster than him or getting faster than him.
3 to go this time by here at the Sonoma Raceway. Passing the lapper up the hill under the Toyota sign, up into turn 2 here to the right. Look at how sideways that 51 is in front. Let's go over the shoulder.
Did you know it's a mile up this hill?
Yeah, it's crazy.
A mile. I walked that mile. Didn't realize it.
Look at how smooth Hamish is on the wheel.
Very smooth.
51 being held up by the 23. The 23 is going to get on the brakes hard. That actually messed up Hamish's entry there.
Yeah.
That allows the 51 to drive away a bit.
Fuller's got a little breathing room now. Looking at the back bumper of Fuller's truck back to Hamish Gallagher. I believe well, I don't know. I was going to say that it sailed away, but as we see Hamish getting back, closing in on Fuller again. What do you think's going through his mind?
You see Daniel Fogg, man, we can't even see these guys. As we sit on the tailgate, sorry, the deck of the 51. I mean, right now, Justin Fuller's just saying, all right, 6 miles. I only got 6 more miles of this. Come on, just let me stay ahead. Hamish is just chomping at the bit.
Hamish is driving that truck. There's no doubt. You can see him. He's smooth, but he's fast.
He's very smooth, but very quick. And another lapper. This time it's going to affect the 51 through the S's.
Gonzalez is
this
right there
is going to
in
give
front of him.
Hamish an opportunity. You're on board the the 22 as he sees the 51 being held up by Hamish. Is going to try to take advantage of it.
Jose, can you see that the 51 is right behind you?
He's going to... Jose better not go to the right here. Hamish is going to try it. Maybe not this time, but he's going to get his momentum. He's going to get ready. The 51's way on the brakes, trying to get under the 26. Oh, this is beautiful if you're a Hamish Gallagher fan. Watching the Toyota hold up that Ford behind him really helps out Hamish. Up the hill comes the 22. 2 to go here at Sonoma. Hamish is driving it like no tomorrow.
I'm shocked that 10 has not, or that 26.
Oh, the 26 is in the way in a terrible position.
Oh. Why did he wait till the turn? I don't understand.
There goes that battle.
Yeah, there goes that battle. So much for that.
In an awful spot, Hamish catches the 26.
Yeah.
Wait a moment. Hamish Gallagher catching Justin Fuller quickly. Less than a second between them. It was a second and a half when they got held up. Can Hamish get to Justin? I don't know if he's going to be able to.
I don't think he's going to be able
That's
to.
a
Final
shame.
lap.
White flag is out here at Sonoma. Hamish sends it into the final corner, trying to get as close as he can to come to the white flag. He gained a ton that time. He might have a shot.
Well, they got some lappers in front of them that are not too far up in front of these drivers.
Oh, spinner in front of him!
Spinner
in front of him! The 18 of Bentley Glazer spun in front of him.
That was just a matter of time for Bentley. I hate to say that, but Bentley was so out of control for so many laps, it was just a matter of time.
27 seconds ahead, really quick. Here comes Daniel Falkingham for the final time through the S's. Past the entrance to pit lane, into the chicane for the final time tonight. Daniel Falkingham from lap number 6 to lap number 40 leads 34 straight, and he's going to win at Sonoma.
He's still driving that truck.
All right, back to Justin Fuller and Hamish Gallagher. This battle's going to come right down to the wire. E.J. O'Rourke and Tommy Ryan have gone around together in turn 7. Justin Fuller is going to hold off Hamish Gallagher. Justin Fuller better go give Jose Gonzalez a high five, a handshake, and a beer, because Justin Fuller's going to finish second, Hamish Gallagher third. If it wasn't for the lap car, that would have changed. But E.J. O'Rourke coming back at Tommy Ryan here. They just got together a moment ago. Will there be a little bit of retaliation? There will be. He's going to dump him. He's going to dump him. E.J. dumps him.
He dumped him. But
here comes Tommy Ryan.
Tommy Ryan almost came back and
he let him
back.
Back. He let him back.
I
don't think it was on purpose.
Yeah.
I think he just got in there too hot. But we'll take a look back here. What happened in turn 7? E.J. O'Rourke and Tommy Ryan. E.J. O'Rourke and Tommy Ryan both got on the rumble strip there. They come down here. E.J. O'Rourke big loose on the brakes as hard as he can. He just cleans out the 99. He waited for him to go to. He didn't need to do that. Unfortunately, John Hickman Jr. has crashed. Take a look at this here. This was coming to the checkered flag. He'll be in the tunnel turn. Right here, just gonna lose it. Just loses it. Here's the Bentley Glazer spin on the white flag, going up the hill in front of Tyler Dalt. Yeah, he was never going to get that car straightened back out. Well, Daniel Falkingham's going to burn this thing to the ground. And Hamish Gallagher with a third place finish. We'll talk to Hamish Gallagher, folks. Hamish Gallagher, it's Nick and Randy in the booth. First off, congratulations on a heck of a third place finish. How was it out there tonight?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Yeah, it's pretty much what you expect. She's slick. Out in the California desert, so yeah, no, it was pretty good fun. I haven't done a road course race in this truck in a long time, so yeah, no, that was enjoyable.
So are you familiar with, like, I mean, road course racing? Is that like one of your fortes, or something you don't like?
Yeah, probably the latter, to be honest. Like, I first when I got into iRacing, it was the road course racing, but then I just jumped into street stock racing. Well, this is actually way more fun. So I haven't really done any road course racing at all. iRacing is really just when we turn up to a road course in NASCAR. So yeah, no, so I don't do much of it, but it's usually quite fun when we get out here. So
did you just try a southern accent?
Was it that bad? Was it?
Hey, Hamish,
wow.
Are you actually in Australia now?
No, I'm in close. I'm in New Zealand. So
New Zealand. Okay, so what time is it there?
It's about midday on the Thursday. So I work from home on a Thursday. So this is basically my lunch break because I can jump in and do this race. And it's like perfect timing for me.
That's great.
I'd love to have your job.
I would too, man. I'm on lunch break. I'll just go race.
Yeah, no, she's quite good. Good timing.
That's great. Well, congratulations on a third place finish. You are locked into the playoffs, so that's a good thing for you. So this is just fun time for you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's good news. Yeah, that was the goal this year. I know there's a lot of drivers in this league are way better than me, but I just wanted to try and get into the chase, and so I've done that then, and yeah, I'm really happy.
All right, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you
Thanks,
guys.
Hamish. All right, let's go find second place finisher Justin Fuller. Where is he? Where he be? There's Justin Fuller. Let's move him up in here. Justin, it's Nick and Randy in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it.
Well, first off, congratulations on a heck of a second place finish. You had to drive your heart out there at the end. Did you go down and give Jose Gonzalez a pat on the back, a handshake, and a beer for when he decided to let you go?
He doesn't deserve one. So he tried. He's like go past right and through this section that you shouldn't be doing that in to begin with. He's running the middle of the racetrack. It just doesn't make any sense. You want to get out of the way. You're not racing anybody. You know, pull to the left and stop.
I was agreeing with you there, man. I was like looking at him like, what are you doing, dude? You should move over, let these guys race. And then when he did, he pulled right in between you and Hamish, which totally destroyed Hamish's run. So, yeah, that was terrible.
No surprise.
Oh, well. Anyways, you got second place. I don't think there was anything you could have done with Daniel Falkingham. He was off in another zip code tonight, so. But you ran a good race.
Yeah, I mean, I could have hit my marks a little bit better throughout the entire race. I mean, I probably cost myself, I don't know, probably a solid 10 seconds on track. I mean, he finished 30 seconds ahead of me, so it doesn't really matter. But I made a lot of mistakes tonight and ruined my tires. I kind of just, once he got out there, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds, I just kind of gave up anyway. So it is what.
Yeah, you settle for second. You're already locked in the playoffs. What's it matter? I mean, you're going to, these are the last few races here. They're just throwaways. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter until 2 weeks from now.
Pretty much.
So with that being said, we go to Daytona next week for the regular season finale. Now, we expect calamity next week for a plethora of reasons. You have drivers like yourself and about 12 other guys, maybe 14 or 15 now, that are locked into the playoffs. And then you have those guys in the bubble that are going to have to win to get in, get as many points as they can, get the halfway points, get the winner's points, lead as many laps. Next week, are you going at it with I'm going out there to try to win this race because it doesn't matter if I don't finish type of attitude?
I go into that with that attitude almost every week, so most likely we'll play it by ear. We'll see how it is. We usually when we go to super skater racings, I like to be one of those ones that's being aggressive. But if I see some people up there that shouldn't be aggressive, being aggressive, I'll probably bail out. So we'll see. Looking to have fun next week. Obviously, like I said, I'm pretty much locked into the playoffs. I don't think there's any way I can fall out of it. So let's go out there, have fun, see what we can do, try and get a win. I love scooter racing. I don't want to do it every single week, but yeah, we'll guys have to wait and see next week.
All right, Justin, good run tonight. I know it's not the run you wanted, but still second place is pretty damn good. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. We'll see you next week at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing.
Thank you, Justin.
Have a good one.
Move him back down to his team, and we'll get our team, our winner tonight, Daniel Falkenham. Daniel, it's Nick and Randy in the booth. How are you doing? Congratulations on a dominant victory here tonight.
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a little while. We've been out of the winter circle for a few weeks, and we've had some rotten luck the last few races too. But it feels good to finally get back in the winter circle. I love me some road course racing. I love Sonoma. I love any road course for that matter. But glad we were able to do it in dominant fashion. Had a little banter with Full there at the beginning. It was all good. It was all fun. But thankfully we came out on top.
Daniel, it almost seems like, forever since we have talked to you. It's like I already forgot about your name and all that other stuff. You've been gone for so long. It's like you've been on vacation. But it is good to hear your voice, my friend. And you did dominate this thing for sure, man. That truck looked like it was just hooked up.
Yeah, for sure. You said about vacation. I mean, it is summer after all. These summer months have not been treating me well in any series I've been running. But yeah, the key tonight was just keep them rears hooked up because, like, just even Sonoma in real life, rear grip is very crucial. So trying to minimize wheel spin and just trying to make sure I keep the tires on it was key, and trying to manage black traffic too. Hey, I will apologize to Jeff Ryan, who I kind of killed going up into turn 1. I thought he was going to the side. I thought he was letting me go, so I gunned it. But then he came back into the racing line. I had no time to check up, and I kind of slammed out, so I apologize for that. But thankfully, that was the only incident we had, and thankfully it was straightforward from there. And I think we had a clean pit stop and all that. We were able to bring her home nice and easy.
Yeah, well, good race tonight. And what else? Have you turned 21 yet?
It turned 21 in February.
Oh, in February. Okay, so you can't have wine yet. So, all right.
No, we can't have that. We can't have any of the High Rock vodka. We can't have that stuff yet. But I don't plan on drinking anyway. But I mean, hey, you never know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're gonna be like me. You're gonna follow my footsteps. I'm not a drinker, not a druggie. I just look the part. So, anyways, congratulations, and I know you have sponsors to thank. So go for it, my friend.
Yes, sir. Got to thank January 31st, First Rate Bay Loft 207 for all the support. Got to thank Joey and all the admins who run the show. Everyone who races each every week. Thank Transervice for all they do for the series. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Thanks everyone at Team Name, Chad, Kevin, Richard, Pedro, everyone over there. Also got to thank my real team, North Force Racing. Preston Gilson, whole crew over there, my teammates, Parker White, Tyler Gary, Daniel Buttafuoco, Wyatt Tinsley, and Colton Salick. We got a big race tomorrow night for Road to Pro at IRP, so we're looking good in that. It's the 4th race of the round, so we're trying to make the top 20 over there, so we got a big race tomorrow night. So look forward to that. Appreciate North Force, everyone over there, for letting me do this. Thanks to all the fans who watch these every week. Thanks to the Cosmos, Plastico Graphics, paint up a truck, and thanks to friends and family for all their support.
Okay, I think you covered it, other than the people on the other side of the border. But you're all good. It's all good. So, congratulations on another win for this season, and you got one more race until the playoff, the chase starts, and it's Daytona International Speedway. We know how you are on
Yeah, cannot wait to hit the catch fence.
All right, Austin Dillon, with that being said, we'll talk to you next week. More likely than not, we're going to bring in the regular season champion next week, so we'll definitely talk to you.
10-4, guys. I hope y'all enjoy the show next week, and y'all have a good week.
All right, thanks, Daniel. You have a good week, buddy. Good luck in your race.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great night here in the Sim500 Transervice Truck Series.
Yep.
Randall,
yep.
Let's take it away with the official results tonight. Why did this not? There we go.
Is it loaded? Go for it.
There we go. All right. Your winner tonight, Daniel Falkenham. In second, Justin Fuller. Third, Hamish Gallagher. Fourth, Pedro Mojica. Fifth, Tommy Ryan. Sixth, EJ O'Rourke. Seventh, Chad Coleman. Eighth, Mike Kelly. Ninth, Richard Swavely. 10th, Robert Gillenwater. 11th, Kevin Brown. 12th, Scott Simley. 13th, Tyler Dalton. 14th, Jose Gonzalez. 15th, Derek Myers. 16th, going to be Bentley Glazier. 17th, Gerald Livingston. 18th is going to be Richard Beasley. Back in 19th is going to be Joey Gattina. 20th, Brian Ortman. 21st, going to be John Higman Jr. 22nd, Ron Holyfield. 23rd, Jeff Ryan. 24th, Doug Sigmund. 25th, Ryan Howard. 26th, Kevin Stone. 27th, and rounding out the field will be Charles Woods.
Good race. Definitely wasn't a competitive race up towards the front, but it was a good race all in all for a road course. As we all know, I've said this many times, I'm not a road course guy.
Stop your
But
whining.
it was. Hey, I'm not saying, all I'm saying, it takes a lot more talent than I have to race these type of tracks. So to every one of these guys that finished tonight and they did not spin, congratulations, you survived. So it's more than I could say. So from Sonoma, you've been watching Racing on the Ghostfire Media Network and the Sim500 Transervice Truck Series. Congratulations once again to Daniel Falkingham on a great win here at the track tonight. I'm Randy Pepper. That is Nick Adams, and we will see you next week here on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Super Speedway Racing.
Woohoo!
Ghostfire Media Network.